What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be fixing what I think is the most common issue with all the Yamaha Zumas I see rolling around my city, a broken turn signal. I see it all the time. I completely hate it, and I'm not going to be one of those guys. So I went and I purchased this, an extra part for 15 bucks. It's going to take a lot of work to get this done, but I'm going to get it done. So let's get right to it. All right, guys, how to change the turn signal in a Yamaha Zuma 2023, 2022, and 2024s. Let's get it. All right, so step one is we're going to be removing the center cover. To remove the center cover, we're going to be taking off these two screws up front right here. We're also going to be taking off this one and this one as well. And these two right here are also going to be the same on the other side of the scooter. All right, with your JIS screwdriver, we're going to be taking this one off and taking off the other one. And since I have the Phillips head in my hands already, I might as well take this one off. And the one on the other side, on the opposite side, I'm going to take that one off as well. All right, pull out your Allen keys and pull out the number 5 and remove this one right here and the one on the opposite side as well. All right, once all the screws are off, we can start lifting from over here. If the little screw is not, if you're having trouble, make sure the little screw is fully off or fully screwed off. All right, that's good. Next, we're gonna grab up here and lift up, and we're gonna do the same on the other side, like that. Now we're gonna close our seat, but not fully. We're not gonna lock it closed, and it'll just make it easier for us to pull it out. Get that out of the way, and we can pull it out and put it somewhere to the side. All right, next we're gonna be removing the battery box cover. We're gonna get the Phillips head and remove 4 screws. All right, once you unscrew the last screw, we should have access to the battery compartment. All you have to do is lift, and that's it. Here's your battery. Now there's extra wires and stuff in here because I have my moped alarm in here, so there's extra wires in here, but we're gonna be removing these 2 nuts up here because we're gonna be removing the seat next. All right, so with a short 10mm socket, we're gonna be removing these 2 nuts. All right, so once we get the last nut loose, we should be able to just pull off the seat like this. You can rock it back and forth a little bit if you want, but it should pop very easily. Just put it somewhere to the side. All right, next we're gonna have to remove these 2 screws because we're gonna be removing the trunk. So we're gonna be removing these 2 with a 10mm socket. as well as two other screws that are going to be under the or next to the battery. So after this, we're going to be removing the battery as well. So get a number 10 socket and get these loose. All right, next we're going to be removing two more screws, but they're down here deep inside over here. Over here, as you can see, and there's one over here as well. You remove this like this, you just pull up and it comes off real easy. You can put it right back on. Whoop. That fast, that simple. But we're going to be getting into another screw that's down deep in there as well. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's right there. All right, so from here, we're going to be removing the battery cables. So the black one and the red one. I do have extra spare wires here that you don't have because they belong to my alarm. So don't worry about those. But we're going to be getting a screwdriver and removing these two little bolts. I forgot to mention it in the beginning of the video, but if you're going to be maintaining your Yamaha Zuma, you're going to need a JIS screwdriver, a Japanese industrial standard screwdriver, 100%, because an American Phillips head will destroy the heads of your screws on this bike, on this moped. So get yourself a JIS standard screwdriver. In my case, I got a Vessel. This one also doubles as a impact screwdriver, so I can hit it with a hammer in the bottom and it'll help turn screws that are seized up. It's pretty good. I like it. So, but get yourself a JIS standard screwdriver if you're going to be working on your own scooter. This was the Vessel Impacta, so get one. All right, while you're removing the screw of your terminals, remember, keep an eye out on the little square nut that's inside here. It's loose and it can fall off and you can lose it. And if you lose it, it's gonna suck ass. This one right here. As you can see, it's right there. It can move around, it can fall out. Don't lose it. All right, from here, we're just gonna grab the battery and we're gonna be rocking it back and forth and we're just gonna lift and pull it up. Again, make sure you don't lose the two little nuts inside there, but all you do is rock it back and forth and pull up and it should come off fairly easy. All right, once that's off, I'm just gonna take a little napkin and clean this white stuff right here. I don't know what this stuff is, but it's some weird white buildup, but I'm gonna take it off and hopefully not breathe in all that dust. All right, next we can take our number 10 socket and remove these two bolts now that we have access to them. Now thinking about it in the future, it would probably be better to have moved over all the cables now and then take them off for easier access. But it's the same thing. So just take off these two bolts right here, or you can remove all the cables, which we're going to be doing next. Right now, time to move all the cabling. As you can see, there's a little slot on the side of the bucket over here. We're gonna grab this and just move it over to the side like that. Move all the cables and wires. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna lift up. It comes off real fast, real easy. Just pull that off to the side, move it over and put it to the side. Grab these cables as well and put them into the side, and we should be able to grab the whole trunk and lift it right now. No problem. Let me take off the two screws so I don't lose them. And I'm just gonna grab the whole thing and lift up. And we're gonna put it to the side. That's it. And this is what you should see. Wow, I wish I had the time to clean this at the moment, but I don't. So let's get on with the show. All right, we're gonna be removing these two screws down here, over here and over here, with a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's get to it. Next, we're going to be removing the grab bar. We're going to be taking off these 4 bolts over here. To do so, we're going to have to take off these little rubber plugs. So grab like a little flathead. I got a hook to remove it. Probably not the best tool for the job. Use something that probably not break your little rubber plug. But I was using what I had or what I found first because the sun was going down. It's hot as hell outside and I was just trying to get stuff done as fast as I can. So just take off all 4 and we'll have access to the bolt inside. All right, pull out your number 5 Allen wrench again. And with the number 5 key, we're gonna be taking it off. It's gonna take a little bit of strength to remove it, but with a little bit of strength, you should be able to pull it off, no problem. All right, once you loosen all 4 screws, this should be able to just lift right off, no problem. Now there are little rubber gaskets on the 2 rear ones, so be careful you don't lose those. I'm gonna put that to the side. What I'm talking about is this little rubber piece right here. Now, it seems like this one didn't have it here, but it was actually in the bottom of the grab bar. It was down here. I can feel it right here. All right, next we're gonna be taking off the upper tail light cover right here. So we're just gonna be taking off these 2 screws. Grab your screwdriver, remove them, and it should come off pretty easy. The screwdriver I'm using is definitely too big for what I'm unscrewing, but I'm just using whatever I can as fast as I can, trying to beat the sun. Get a smaller one. All right, so now if I yank on the broken tail light on the turn signal, you'll see the cable moving over here. So we know this is the cable, so make a note of that cable. You can make a little mark or put a little zip tie around it, but the connectors are gonna be right here. So the next step is we're gonna be loosening up the side panel. So like I said, the cable is gonna be right here, right under here. So we're gonna be removing this bolt and this bolt right here, this screw and this screw, so we could loosen up the side panel. All right, so I tried taking this screw off by hand and it was really hard to take off. So I pulled out my hammer and tried to use the impact feature on this, but that also didn't work. Now I will admit that I didn't want to hit the driver with a lot of strength with a hammer because I didn't want to crack my panel. So I ended up grabbing my impact driver and just using a power tool to take it off. All right, now if you look under here, you'll see the little connector, the little orange connector. Now Yamaha calls them the couplers, so it's the little orange coupler right there. As you can see, we're trying to gain access to that. Now if you have really tiny hands, maybe you might be able to reach that, but we're gonna finish loosening up the panel so we can gain access. And next, take this screw off. All right, with the number 5 Allen key, we're gonna take off this bolt right here, just to loosen stuff up. And from here, I'm gonna take off this screw right here as well. All right, so if you grab this whole piece and move it, it's an entire piece that goes all around the entire moped, as you can see in this little diagram right here. I do not want to remove everything to take it off, so I'm just going to take this screw right off right here and try to loosen it as best as possible so that I can reach my hands into the inside of the panel and get access to that little coupler to unplug it. There's a clip right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. cool. All right, so I've been able to loosen it up a little bit. I think there's a few clips more to take off, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think I have it loose enough that I should be able to gain access. I can lift this up right here, and as you can see, there's the couplers right there. So all I gotta do is find the right one and just unplug it. Now I do have a feeling that they're color coded and the orange one is this one right here, but I'm gonna just pull on it and double check that and make sure that I'm unplugging the right one. Now while I was moving the panel around, these clips started coming off of the tail light cover, so just be aware of that and clip them back into place when we're putting everything back together. All right, looking underneath the panel and pulling on the cable with my other hand, I can see the orange one moving, so I know that is the correct one. All right, so if you look over here, you'll see a zip tie that a lazy worker didn't cut off the end off of. We're gonna be cutting this whole thing off to loosen up the little cables. All right, back underneath the panel, we're just gonna be taking off this coupler by pushing the little tab over here and pulling at the same time. All right, now back in the tail light end, we're gonna grab the corresponding cable and we're gonna start pulling it out. Now, if you look, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to fish this thing through the frame and stuff. So what we're gonna have to do is add some pull string to pull it out, and then pull the new wire in. Because now it's gonna be a pain in the ass. All right, so since this is the old one, I'm just gonna cut off that little tip off. It's off too. I'm going to cut that little tip off. I'm going to put this string here and I'm going to wrap it up with tape. All right, this is what I got. Tape wrapped up here, and we're going to pull slowly, making sure not to lose the other end. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come over here and we're going to pull slowly. And see how it's getting stuck in between this little section right here. Maybe we can move it to the side over here and pull from there. See, that's a lot easier. And as you can see, I already got the other end. So now what we have to do is unwrap this side and get ready for the new one. All right, so mine's ended up breaking here with a number 5. We're gonna just take this off, and keeping the screw, we're gonna throw away the little piece of plastic, keep the screw because we're gonna need it. All right, now if you notice, this bolt just keeps spinning and spinning. And that's because there's a nut on the other side that I didn't know about. Now, I didn't show it in the video, but if you stick your hand inside the little panel over here, you should be able to grab onto the little nut back there and be able to twist this off. This is the little nut that was back there, so just be aware of that. So stick your hands inside here, hold on to it, and unscrew the bolt. All right, so next I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna put this like this, and I'm gonna wrap it with tape. All right, this is what I ended up with. I'm gonna try to put this up here so it doesn't break. All right, next we're gonna come up here and we're gonna pull on the string slowly. Make sure we're gonna feed this properly. So I just fed it in there until it's in there, and I'm gonna try to pull it out. Now it is gonna get stuck there, so I'm gonna have to try to like fish it through here. I'm gonna need both hands, so I probably won't be able to record it. All right, once you've pulled the cable nice and taut, we can grab the turn signal, push it into place, and screw down the bolt that holds it into place. But don't forget, we have that little nut that goes in the back, so we're gonna have to grab it stick it in the back, put the bolt inside, and screw it down. All right, so there you have it. I pushed it in, I had my hand, I went like this, stuck my hand inside here, held it, and tightened it. Now, that's not that tight right now. It's still pretty loose. So I'm gonna have to stick some pliers in there while I hold on to that and I get my Allen wrench and tighten it down. All right, so I'm gonna grab some pliers and stick them in there. And tighten it. All right, there we have it, nice and tight. Let's get down to the other end of the cable. All right, back on top, we're gonna grab the cable. We're gonna be passing it through this little cable management loop right here. We're gonna put the tie wrap and we're gonna plug it back in. All right, there we go. Connected. Sorry, I know that it's a little blurry, bro. I'm sweating like crazy. After this, now we just got to go back in reverse and put everything back together. And when you're putting everything back, make sure everything gets snapped back into place. There's a little, I didn't know about this one down here, but there's a little clip down here as well. Connect it all back together. We're gonna put back these screws right here, the tie wrap, and get it out of the way. Now I understand why he didn't want to cut the ends off, because I am tired. If this little clip thing doesn't want to go back in, just loosen up the little screw on the outside and make sure it goes in properly. I'm gonna push that and make sure that's in nice and good. And that, we're gonna put this spool back on. We're gonna put the tail light cover back on and it screws. Don't forget about the little rubber plugs that go here. All right, so these 4 bolts right here, we're gonna be torquing them down to 9.6 pounds. I just did it to 9.5 since I'm not that accurate, but that's good enough. From here, we're gonna grab the battery, slide it into place, making sure those little nuts don't get lost. Now for the cable management, I'm gonna grab this too and just put it on the left side over here. I decided to remove the battery just to make it easier on me, but I grabbed the negative lead and we're gonna cable route this towards the back end and slide this into place. And then we're gonna push the cable harness down and out of the way. Now we're gonna grab the positive side. We're gonna grab this big box over here, slide that into place. We're gonna take this one and slide it into here. We're gonna grab the battery. Slide that back into place. There it goes with the positive, negative with negative, and now we're going to put the 2 screws for the terminal back on. Once you're done putting the battery terminal back on, we're gonna put the seat back on. These nuts are gonna be torqued down to 3.7 foot-pounds. All right, once we put everything back together, we're gonna put the key inside and turn on the moped. I'm going to put on the right turn signal just to make sure the right turn signal is the right turn signal. Then I'm going to put the left turn signal and the left signal turns on. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Even the little fly is happy. Woo, let's get this. We're done. Now, don't throw away the spare parts. You still got a light bulb that's good in there, and this little cover right here. It's good to have around in case it breaks on your other ones. So we're going to put it back in the box and just put it in storage. Well, fellas, that fast, that simple. It was not that fast, that simple at all. This is by far my longest video. I hope you were able to fix your light bulb. And if you learned something, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and thank you.